How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to this video about a study. We're doing a new study. This is something I do a lot, and this is going to be a big one. So I hope as many of you participate as possible, but I also hope you only participate so long as you're willing to participate according to the rules and guidelines I'm going to set, because we want as much data as possible, but we also want the cleanest, most reliable data possible as well. So what am I talking about? We really don't know the specific drop rates for different things in Gear Raids. So right now we have a Gear Raid 3 event live, a Gear Raid 3 Oracle's Trial. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to head in and gather a ton of data. Also, guys, you, the viewers, I really want to encourage you to share the form for this study, for the data collection, with as many people as possible, with your guildmates, and definitely with other creators. You know, I've heard other creators echo my sentiments of frustration with the lack of transparency in this game, regardless of who they are or what they think about anything. If they believe in empowering the players with more transparency in terms of drop rates and the RNG that drives this game, then you should encourage them to share the forum with their community and share it within your own communities as well, guys. You don't have to share my video unless people need an explanation on how this works, which you guys watching, please continue watching. I want you to do it correctly, but sharing this form is the key thing. Let's get as much data as possible. With the new update that came, I'll go over that in 1 second. People are very curious. What are the drop rates in the gear raids now? Is ancient gear far more likely? We don't really have a great baseline. I know the game file data from like a year ago, but I think what we really need to do is treat this as, let's do a study and figure out what the actual rates are right now. So if we get hundreds of participants and we account for tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of runs, we can have strong enough data that we get a really, really clear picture. So you'll see over here, we've got Gear Raid 321. I highly encourage you, if you're going to participate, to be doing 321. However, you'll see when we go over the collection form, it's fine if you're doing 18, 19, 20, but those will just go into a different data pool. Each stage has its own specific drop rates. So if you look over here on 21, it's not just gear and ancient gear that can drop, right? Obviously, that can come. But on top of that, you can get bullions, you can get these enchantress spirits. These are your ascending materials. You can get different shards of demon soldiers of 3 different rarities, legendary, epic, and rare. You can get ancient summoning crystal shards or fragments, you know, pieces of things that forge together to create an ancient summon. You can get different drops of sanguine fabrics. These are your gear forge materials for your left side gear, or the scales. These are your gear forge materials for your right side gear. And then you can also get the master keys. So these things universally let you enter the gear dungeons extra times beyond the 100 allotment in Gear Dungeon 1 and Gear Dungeon 2 each we get every single month. So you can see I've never used any of these. I've got a fat stack over here. On top of that, diamonds can drop, stamina can drop. So there's a lot of things. I want to track them diligently. So I know a lot of you just want to know, Fastidious, tell me, is the ancient gear rate good? That's not a question I can answer. What I can do is organize this study and we can all take really good data, accumulate it, aggregate it, and get some answers. You'll see with the new update, if we go to gear, they do say they boosted the ancient gear's drop rate, but we don't have a good sense of what that means. The old drop rates for ancient gear that we knew as of March 2024, that's the last time we had game file access, on stage 21s, it was 0.6%. So that means every 1,000 gear drops, and notice I didn't say 1,000 runs. That's a clear thing we're going to go over in this video. Every 1,000 gear drops, 6 of them would be ancients. On 19, it was down to 0.4%. So every 1,000 runs, it was 4. Those numbers may sound low to you. However, this is number of pieces dropped, not number of runs done. Even a free-to-play player without the privilege card, you still have a 30% chance every run, or we think it's 30. We're going to test for that as well. You have a chance to get a bonus piece of gear. And if you have the privilege card, you have a second chance to get a bonus piece of gear. So with all that being said, a lot of people are like, I actually get one every 100 normally. It's like, yeah, if you've got the priv card and you're farming 21s, that's about what it comes out to. It's like just about 0.9%. So no intro besides the big overview I just gave you. Let's head in and let me show you how this sheet is going to work. Huge shout out to Seamus for helping me put this together. I gave him really specific notes because I really want to cover everything diligently. And that's a good transition into the big thing I want to do. I want all you guys to participate. but only do it if you're willing to go through this form every time you finish a farming session this weekend in Gear Aid 3 and actually do everything. I don't want people to just go here and say, oh, 26 runs, no ancients, and think that's what you're going to type. I want all this data. So I'm going to bring you through it. I'm no pressure. You don't have to do it, but if you do volunteer, please, please, I implore you, do it correctly. I'm not just being some anal kind of asshole, annoying, ultra serious person about this. We need good data. If we want to know accurate information and what the actual truth is, we need good recording of data. For a community study, that's hard to do. So I'm imploring you guys, please do it correctly. Mwah! So how does this sheet work? Let's get into it. Welcome, welcome. It's time to feed the hug monster. Seamus is our data consumer. He's going to parse through all of it. We created the sheet together. Let's get these numbers. Let's put them together. Let's get some answers. He needs to eat some of this data. We need to know about your Gear Aid 3 runs, so get ready to just knock that out over this Oracle's trial. It began less than half a day ago, so we've got tons and tons of time. Before I continue, I want to say you can take all your data from the whole 3-4 days that you're farming Gear Aid 3 and then submit it just once. I think the easiest and the cleanest way to do that is whenever you finish a big farming session, hop in here and do it. All right? You can do any session, even if it's like 10 runs, that's fine. But in general, I encourage you to set up auto battles like this. And we're only going to count auto battles because it's the easiest way to track your data. Only do it if you have, let's say, at least 50 autos or more. All the way up to 500 is still great. But you can see here, I've got 28 here. Sure, I could put it in, but if I'm putting it in every time I do 28, it might be kind of annoying because you might be heading in and out of the sheet a lot. However, you do a run of 50, put the data in. You do a run of 80, put the data in. Do a run of 100, put the data in. That's going to be a lot easier than adding that all up and putting all those 230 runs in together. So as we work our way down the sheet, you'll see there's lots of prompts. There are lots of questions. We're going to try to hold your hand through this to make sure you hit everything. Make sure you fill out every single field. They are all required. As you guys saw over here, I have a live run right now, but it's only 29 runs. That's not so special. So I did a call out on my Discord, the Fast and Fastidious. Go check it out. Link in the description. That's how we organize everything like this, among many, many other things, if you want to be a part of our community. And I said, hey, I need someone who's in the middle of farming right now, who's done a nice chunk of runs, and I can use their data to show how to use the sheet. A bunch of people volunteered. Huge shout out to Mulas. Mulas is the one who came forward with the best data, the cleanest representation, and he even made this screen recording for me. So I said, hey, go into your auto battle thing, make sure no extra runs are completed as we go, slowly scroll through, and I'll tally everything up, and we'll get all the data together. So I've already done that. I'm not going to make you guys sit through all of that in the video. But you can see he scrolls through here. I took screenshots of all this. It's a lot, and you're going to have to go through and count how many pieces of gear you've got, things like that. You can see at the bottom, those are all the bonus drops. Here's all the stuff he got from Priv Card. Fantastic, right? So what I did is I went and I turned those into screenshots so you can just see from start to finish. It begins here. I counted everything. With this, I can now show you how you can go and you can use this sheet. So first things first, I'll do this as Mulas so he doesn't have to do it himself. And actually, please make sure it's the correct name. I just double checked what he was so that if we need to contact you, I can just search this and directly find you. So there's his name. Next thing, do you have the privilege card? Why is this important? Because your rates are going to be different in terms of things like ancient pieces of gear per run, because you're getting more gear drops per run if you have the privilege card than if you do not. So please answer that. If you're like Mulas, you say yes. If you're like me, you say no. He does have the privilege card, so click yes there. I don't care if you do or you don't, but we do need to know. I also want to see the difference. How many more drops are you getting from the privilege card? Can we get clean data on that? Not just what they tell us, but what we can actually learn. The next question, what stage did you run? In general, I think 21 is going to give us the clearest picture, but we'll take anything from 18 to 21. Just remember, it's all going to go into different data sets. Next up, how many runs did you do? So let's pull up our Mulas data, and you can see it's 133 runs. So you go here and you type 133. Next one, though, it says, how many total pieces of gear dropped? This is every piece of gear that dropped for you. Some runs, you get multiple pieces, so this number will be higher than your total number of runs. If you do any large number of runs, like even 10 or 20 or more, the number of gear drops is guaranteed to be higher than the number of runs. So you're actually gonna have to take the time and go through and count. This is another reason why it's nicer to do just like 100 runs at a time, upload, rinse and repeat for the duration of the event. You can see here, I took all these screenshots so I could see every single piece of gear. This took me a little while, it was 133 runs, but there you go. That's the end there of the normal gear. But remember, after that, you see your bonuses and then you get the Priv card gear. So I counted all of that too. In general, Mulas, though he did only 133 runs, I added it up, I counted everything. He actually had 203 pieces of gear drop. So you might be thinking one ancient in 133 runs, that's pretty solid. It is, but one ancient in 203 drops, that also is solid, though kind of unlucky, but not as crazy as it sounds to you guys, because in general, many people track their rates in terms of drops per run, but you're not thinking it's actually ancient drops per total pieces of gear dropped. So the total pieces of gear dropped was 203. If we go back here to the start, you can see he had only one ancient in these 133 runs out of those 203 pieces of gear. So it's just the one. If you did have any ancients drop, what sets were they? I'm very curious in terms of the distribution of these sets, so please do this. You can see here are the things, and then you can tally how many of those dropped. Here's a note here for Gear Aid 3, 321. There are no Ancients of Hawkeye. There are no Ancients of Mana Spring. There are no Ancients of the Doom. It's a weird quirk. Some of those Tier 1 sets do not have Ancient versions from the Gear Aids. This might be just a fun fact here. You might notice I don't have any Ancient Guardian pieces except for what I get from Gear Dungeons. Guardian is a set that cannot drop as an ancient from Gear Aid 2. It can only drop as an ancient from the Gear Dungeon. So we have three examples here. So the sets that can actually drop are Infernal Roar, Soulbound Arcana, Asclepius, Insight, Wisdom, and Fracture. He had the one drop. It was an Insight piece. You can see there, we just go here, we go to 1, and we tick off Insight. We're good to go. Next thing, and huge shout out to Seamus, he added visual guides here with like the icons, the indicators, so you know exactly what we're talking about. How many Enchantress's spirits did you get? These are the Ascension materials for your Gear Aid 3 gear, you know, turning the Insight into Infernal Roar, turning the Wisdom into Soulbound Arcana. And here's an example with a picture of what it looks like. So how many of these dropped? You can just fill it in yourself. Please do make sure you fill it in correctly. So now we'll go back to my Mulas data. We'll go towards the end right before the Priv drops. And you can see here, these are our bonus drops, and we had 15 of the spirits dropped. So I go in here and I type 15. Next up, how many booleans did you get? Booleans, whatever you want to call it. Oh, la, la, booleans, whatever you want to call it. We didn't get any. That's pretty clean. This would have shown up at the beginning with our ancients. You can see there's none there. I'll go back down to the bonus. So for this, you can simply go in here and you can type 0. Next, we got how many Demon Soldier shards did you get? We're not asking Demon Soldier drops, we're asking shards because they drop. One Demon Soldier drop is 10 shards, right? So pretty clean way to look at it there. Did you get 10 of one, 20 of one, 30, 40, 50, 60? And then if it's even more, just DM us. It's the same thing. If somehow you farmed, I don't know, 300 runs and you got so lucky and you had 7 or 8 Infernal Roar pieces drop, you can do it. I don't think this is going to happen to anyone or maybe to like one person. So if you're that one person, you can message us directly. We'll go here. How many Demon Soldiers did drop? He didn't have a good Ancient Gear seed, or not a particularly good one. He did have a great Demon Soldier one. So let's go here and let's count it up. He had 10 axes, 10 hounds. So let's add that in. So 10 of the Axe Slaughterer. He had 10 of the Ghoul Hound. Like I said, guys, this takes a little while, but we need good data. Then I believe that's Adog's Follower, and then that's the Drifter. So then he had 10 of Adog's Follower, and then he had 10 of the Frozen Drifter. We didn't get any of the legendaries, no Knight of Destruction. And then we had a few rare Demon Soldier drops. If you don't know the names for Gear Aid 3, go through, click on the icons, and familiarize yourself. We had 20 of the Falling Reaper. So now we go to 20, and we click there. Next up, we had the Carrion Hound. We had 10 of those. And I believe we had 10 of the Scalekin Mage. Up next, how many fragments of those ancient summons did you get? How many shard ancient summoning crystals dropped for you? This will be in the bonus drops, and you can see he got 1. Next up, how many master keys did you get? Let's peek over here. He got 1. Next thing, this is very key. I hope people are watching the video. For Priv card users, you can have Sanguine Fabric, the forge materials for your left side Gear Forge creations, And the smoldering scales, the forged materials for your right side, they can drop both from your normal drops and from your priv card drops. This is another benefit of priv card. So you're gonna have to start at the beginning. The first thing you'll see these fabric drops. You're gonna have to take these numbers, 129 fabrics and 143 scales. And then you're also gonna have to go to the end, if you have the priv card, and add the priv card extras on top of that. So you can see another 36 fabrics and 43 scales. I already did the addition for you guys. It does come out to 165 fabrics and then 186 scales. Finally, how many diamonds did you get and how much stamina did you get to drop? This also shows up in the bonus section before the priv card, but after the gear. You can see that here. For diamonds, we've got 33. You can see that next to the spirits. Honestly, not too shabby. 33 diamonds, 133 runs. That's not the worst rebate in the world. And then we got 65 stamina. Not too special, but not too shabby. And there you go. So to recap, it's a little chunk of work. So I suggest, if you're going to farm 1,000 times this week, maybe do these in chunks of 100 or chunks of 200. If you don't have to do it. It is work. But if you want to help us, I hope you're willing to do the work. Otherwise, don't worry. Just don't help. I promise. I'd rather no data than bad data or sloppy data. Okay? Again, not to be an asshole, but if you want good results, I need good data. Seamus needs good data. So first things first, give us your exact @ handle on Discord. This is not too hard to figure out. I'll show you guys right now. If you go on to Discord and in the corner is your name, right? Fastidious, you click here, it's this name. So my Discord name is actually Fastidious_GG. My presentation name is Fastidious. But you can see, so it's @ Fastidious_GG would be mine. If we continue on, do you have the priv card? We did it for Mulas. Yes, he does. What stage? It's all gear aid 3, but it's stage 21. How many runs? 133. How many total pieces? Remember, priv card users, you need to count those all out, get the total number, and then get the priv card bonus drops, count those out, get the total number, and add it all together. So you can see it comes out to 203. Next up, how many ancients dropped for you? How many of those 203 pieces of gear were ancients? We got 1. Which were they? You can see you go to the 1 column, we had the 1 insight. Then how many spirits did you get? The ascension materials, we had 15. How many beyonds? We got 0. How many demon soldier shards? We went soldier by soldier, and you can see the axe slaughterer, we got 10, ghoulhound 10, adog's follower 10, frozen drifter 10, fallen reaper 20. Now we're on our rare demon soldiers. Carrion hound 10, scalekin mage 10. How many of these shards for the ancient summoning crystals did you get? We got 1. How many master keys for the gear dungeons did you get? We got 1. How many fabrics? Priv card users, you need to take the number at the top and add your bonus number on the bottom. We got 165. How many scales? We got 186. Same thing for priv card users. You got to take the number at the top and at the bottom. Finally, how many diamonds did you get? We got 33. How much stamina did you get? 65. And now you can submit. So very quickly, let's do this one more time. You saw I've been farming in the background. Let me end this now. It's 39 runs. Again, I don't really encourage people to do 39 runs, but hey, not many of us can farm that much. This will be very quick, and I'll show you in real time how easy this is to do once you get into the rhythm of it. So I'm going to do it for myself now. So it's @ Fastidious underscore, oh my God, where's the underscore? Underscore GG. Do you have the privilege card? No, I don't. What stage did you run? 21. So how many total runs did I do? Let's double check that. I did 39. We can go in and put that down. How many total pieces? I'm going to show you guys how to count. It's not that hard. You can see there's always the first 2 things are coins, then experience. Then it's the fabrics, then it's the scales. So then the next 2, the first line is always 2 pieces. Every other line is 6. So we can take 2. If you view 4 rows at a time, it's 2. And then these 3 rows of 6 each, that's 18. So it's 20. Then I can scroll here. This is now 4 by 6. That's 24. So that's 44. And then I get my 3 at the end. I actually had 47 drop for me, even without the privilege card in those 39 runs. So I can add that in, 47. How many ancients drop for me? The answer, as you can see, is 0. And I do want to take this time, guys. Don't think if you were unlucky, your data is bad. Lucky data and unlucky data are equally good and powerful and important as long as your data is accurately reported, right? I hope that does make sense, because what am I saying? If you only, if you're like, oh, that was a great run, I got 3 ancients, let me give Fastidious and Seamus the data, but then you said, oh, I did 200 runs and I didn't get anything, I'm not even going to bother. That's like an incomplete, inconsistent sample. We need all your good luck, all your bad luck. All the data is fantastic so long as you have reported it and recorded it correctly. Hope that makes sense. Next up, if you had any ancient drops, what sets were they? I didn't have any, so I don't have to do anything here. Now, how many Enchantresses spirits did you get? I can go over here and see. We scroll to the bottom for my bonuses. I had 3 drop in those 39 runs, so we can throw 3 in here. How many bullions or bullions did you get? You saw I didn't have any. Next up, how many Demon Soldier shards did you get? Didn't look like it was a great run for me. I didn't get any Demon Soldiers, so that kind of blows. This is a tough, I didn't even get a single thumbs up piece. This is a tough 39 for me, but hey, data is data. So I don't have to do anything, nothing dropped. How many ancient summoning crystals did I get? I don't think I got any of those either. Nothing. So you can just go in here, you type a big fat 0. How many master keys did I get? Nothing, an even fatter 0. Now I go back to the top. I don't have to do any addition here because I don't have the priv card. So I can just take the number from the top for the fabric and the scale. You can see here, we got 10 fabric and 34 scales. I can head in here. It's going to be 10 fabric, 34 scales. Finally, how many diamonds did I get and how much stamina did I get? You can see I got 7 diamonds and 20 stamina. So 7 diamonds, 20 stamina, and submit. So Mulas's data was just as good as my data that I submitted. If we all do this and we record and report properly and accurately, if we are diligent, if we are fastidious in the way that we do this, I promise we're going to have unbelievable results. No pressure to participate, but please commit now. If you do choose to participate, you do a good job. Thank you. I hope this gives you all some peace of mind and some cool answers to some of the questions we have long had about this game. Let's see how it goes. Kicking off the Gear Aid 3 study. Let's go, baby. Share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.